Well, hello and welcome back to the Town Manifesting Tarot. This is the tarot reading for serious tarot people. This is not a lightweight tarot reading. I know a lot of people are comfortable. They want the rainbows and they want the lollipops and all that kind of stuff. And isn't this great? We're not in that kind of a time historically for humanity. So I am not going to focus on the rainbows and lollipops and unicorns. Not going to do that. What I'm going to do is take the energy. Only have 5 cards. That's all you're going to see. There's no action, no animation, no movement. This is a time for you to close your eyes and to listen. It takes about 12 minutes, 13 minutes. In that time, with the 5 cards, I'm going to synthesize a singular energy of frequency. It's clear to understand, and either it resonates with you or it doesn't. If it doesn't, that's not a problem. I've done astrology for over 50 years, tarot for over 20. In all those years, you get 10%, maybe if you're having a really good time in terms of connecting, maybe 20%, but that's it. 80 or 90% of the people viewing the reading, and I don't care what reading you do, it doesn't make any difference, are not going to have a profound experience. It'll be nice, great, some good information, fabulous, but there won't be that connection. Same is true here. 80 to 90% on a day-to-day basis, because I do a brand new read every day, 365. Every day, about 10 or 20% have a connection. They're moved by the reading. They're inspired, because that's really what I want to do. I want to inspire you. That's my job. Now, with that in mind, I got to keep my time short. Like I said, probably a dozen minutes, a little bit more. I want to keep very tightly focused. I want you to know exactly what the energy is from the reading. You don't have to guess. I didn't put out 50 cards, so you try to figure out whatever makes sense to you. 5 cards synthesized into a single energy. Does it fit or doesn't? If it doesn't, there's tomorrow, next week, next month, whatever. You will run into a reading where you're going to connect. When you do, my advice is jump on it. Door is open. Take advantage of it. That's the deal. So I am focused on you. Exclusively you. Now, the people around me keep reminding me, remember to have people like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Okay, I've said it. They're off my back. I want you to come to this place every day and see if I can inspire you, if I can make that connection. Are you the 10 to 20% that day? If you are, fabulous. The more people I can inspire, the better it will be. We're in a critical point with humanity. In fact, I just watched a program, very well known on the internet, where Tim Pool was talking with a guy who has studied revolutions in countries going back, I think, 1,000 years, maybe farther back than that. But he found connections, economic connections, political connections, and you could predict when these things would happen. And it's interesting how the same kinds of things come up every time. Certainly money is an issue. The political structure is an issue. There are other social considerations as well. And so this individual on Tim's show said that he thinks there will be a kind of a revolution in America after the election, to the point where he sees, if for all purposes, 2 capitals, one in Austin, Texas, the one in Washington, D.C. It will not be one of those wipe out the country kind of revolutions, but it will be seen historically as a revolution. You'll have 2 camps, and we go from there. One of the things that concerns me about that is if this guy is true, And I have no reason to believe that he's not, because you have two camps that are just not, can't communicate. It's going to weaken us as a country. So places like China primarily, but then we got India, we got Russia, we have a bunch of countries that would love to create grief. And then we have the people who are trying to control the world anyway. The sociopathic, psychopathic billionaires. So the country will be extremely vulnerable for that. That concerns me. Having us battle out our differences, that's okay. It'll be unpleasant in some spots, but it's important. That's how you freshen things up. You know, it's like if you're a farmer, you have to plow the field after you've brought in the crop. Well, that act of plowing is an act of creation as well as destruction. You got to do one to do the other. Phoenix rising out of its ashes kind of a thing. So we are in a very, very, very critical time, not just as a country, but as a species. You could argue it is a time that has not existed in at least 7,000 years. That's recorded history. We get past 7,000, you run into the Ice Age, you run into something called the Younger Dryas, and that goes 4,000 years, and then you come out the other side, going back 11,000, 12,000 years ago and beyond. We see now evidence of tremendous civilizations that we never thought existed, and that in some regards supersede where we are now as a species, and yet they disappeared into time. So taking the last 7,000 years, we're coming up to this critical period. And in fact, a guy on Tim's show who was talking about or predicting the possibility, very strong possibility, of some sort of a civil war in this country. And it's not going to be against white or black. It's going to be against red or blue. He says this cycle kind of comes up every about 250 years. And he kind of went back in time. So maybe it's inevitable. I don't know. But inevitable or not, this is where we find ourselves. And that's why I'm doing a serious reading. For serious times. For serious people. So here are the 5 cards. The middle card is the Oracle card. It sets the mood for the reading. And the card in the middle is Fork in the Road. Fork in the road. That's where we are. You got to choose which way you're going to go. 2 paths. You look on the card and you understand that it's a very confusing issue. In many ways, as you look at the card, there is not a clue as to which way would be the preferred path. You have to choose. The number up in the left-hand corner is 13. 1 means beginning. 3 means lining up your mind, body, spirit. When it comes to manifesting tarot, the number 3 does not indicate a third party. It indicates mental, spiritual, physical energies all lining up. Mind, body, emotion, mind, body, emotion, mind, body, emotion. All lining up. Stop and think about it. As a human being, we rarely have those things line up. Rarely. There are always those distractions. So we're being called to begin a new era, a new time, to make a decision by lining up our mind, body, spirit energies. Let's go to the left. We begin with the 8 of Pentacles. Pentacles are things that we value. And I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about cars or houses or any of that other material shit. Not talking about that. That's what's gotten us into trouble. I'm talking about real values. And the 8 of Pentacles is manifesting those values. You see him working. Values like joy, love, friendship, health, happiness. How about peace? How valuable is the concept of peace? Can you live a life of peace? And then, of course, there's the final value. How about time? Valuing your time. Nobody, I don't care how rich you are, gets more time. We can't buy time. It moves like sand through your fingers or water through your fingers. It's there and gone. Never come back. Those are the true values. And the 8 of Pentacles says it's time to work on your values. You're missing something. This is the time now to pay attention. And I imagine for a lot of people, the next card applies. That's the Four of Wands. Wands are positivity, excitement, joy, enthusiasm, gratitude. Four of Wands are the 11-11, right? Harmony, celebration, excitement, possibility, potential. Ooh, all that good stuff. Yeah. So the Eight of Pentacles says, I need to reevaluate everything in my life. I need to line up my mind, body, spirit. Those energies, need to line them up so I can get the Four of Wands, the 11-11, because that's really in my heart what I'm looking for. A bigger car, a bigger home, more money ain't going to do it. There are plenty of people who are rich, and are unhappy, terrible people. Go for true values. And that's really what you're battling right now, because the next card is the Five of Wands. Five of Wands talks about conflict, bickering, pettiness. Nothing serious, just this endless wave of crap that runs through our lives, that occupies our mind, our body, our spirit energy somehow, and just we lose focus. Oh, yeah, this is really important. Oh, this is really important. And then you get there and you go, it wasn't all that important. That's why I say you need a good set of values. Joy, love, peace, happiness. Value your time because you only get it once. You want to spend your whole life working? Well, then look back. What have you done in your life? Have you made the connections? Have you done something on a deeper level than just material? That's the stuff that people remember on their deathbeds, by the way. There have been several studies. 4 that I'm aware of over the past 20 years. None of them ever said, geez, I wish I made more money. All of them said, boy, I had a great time with, I remember this situation, I remember this person. Those are the things. And that's what concerns me about the Civil War thing, that we're going to get into such a bickering stuff. We are right now. We're not doing a damn thing or accomplishing anything, not making the country or world better, just bitching. And it shows up in the final card, the Nine of Swords. That's really where we're at. The Nine of Swords. Swords are thoughts, ideas. The Nine is nightmares, grief, despair. It's really where we're at in the world right now. Nine of Swords. And it's because swords are the things that we use to live by. They're the rules, the regulations, the thoughts, the beliefs. Oh, it must be true because I was told this as a kid. Re-examine. Everything's on the table, including the fate of humanity. Here's the meme for today. If you don't intentionally create your future, your mind will recreate whatever it got used to seeing in the past. That's where we're at. It's like rats in a cage, hamsters in a cage. It's round and round and round and round and round and round. Man, we're moving like hell. We're not going anywhere. You have to choose. It's a fork in the road. Clear your thinking. Don't suffer the Nine of Swords. Don't do the Five of Wands. Reassess your values. Go for the 11-11 that you're looking for, that your spirit is looking for. You have to choose. You can't just sit back. Because I'm telling you, this next year, that's the tarot reading for today. Back again tomorrow. Between now and the next time you and I manifest tarot together, peace and blessings.